Good evening, baseball fans. It is July 5th. It is a Friday. I am Suzy. That is Tom. This is Bourbon and Baseball Astros edition. I hope everyone had a fabulous 4th of July. I hope you all have your fingers, that you guys didn't blow anything off. But we're going to get right into it. This is a rated R show. This is a rated R podcast for all of the cuss words, and there will be many. If you have children, put some earmuffs on them. If you yourself are not comfortable with the adult language, you should probably skedaddle on out of here because, like I said, all of the 4-letter words will be used. Don't say that I didn't warn you guys, okay? So if your kids hear this and now know words and put words together that they didn't know previously, that's on you, not on me, because I gave you the warning. I'm not judging. I don't care. Just don't come for me, all right? Anyway, like I said, this is Astros edition, Bourbon and Baseball. We did not record after the BlueJay series because it was a holiday and I was hanging out with my family. Tom had plans as well. I don't actually know if Tom had plans, but I'm assuming Tom had plans. Did you not have plans, Tom?
I was
Oh,
playing
okay.
video games.
So Tom didn't have plans.
Fully
Oh, okay,
expected
fine.
Suzy to go, let's do this. And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
No, I was hanging out with my children and my husband and doing family 4th of July stuff. It was a good time. I did, however, watch the Astros win a Toronto Blue Jays 3 out of 4 game series. Very fucking happy about it. Tonight, we'll get into it. We're going to get into it. Regardless, guys, we beat the fucking Blue Jays, as we should, because the Blue Jays are just in a fucking free fall, and I don't even know what the fuck they're doing right now. But they're just not a very good team right now. They just aren't. We should have swept because that first game, we came back. It was like, what, 6-1? 7
Oh, no, they
7-1?
won the first game. You're thinking of the second game.
I know, but that's the game that we came back, 7-6, right?
That's the second game.
We
The first game was Hunter Brown. They won 3-1.
Okay, so I am on crack. Good. It's just the losses that apparently are ingrained into my brain.
They stay with her. They're deep.
That is true. That is very true. Like Tom said, it was the second game that we lost, and really, we probably, we could have won. We could have won. But that's okay. We just need to win series. Right, Tom? That's all we need to do. We just need to win series.
Sweeps are hard. I will say it all season long as people will listen to me. Sweeps are hard. Win series, you're always going to be happy with the outcome.
Yeah. And a 4-game mop is even harder than a sweep. Take 3 games, you're going to take 3 games, but take 3 games out of 4. Winning 4 games is hard. It's hard. That's what she said. Damn it, the Mariners won again. Stupid Mariners. Regardless, Mariners are in a free fall too. We are now, after tonight's win, 1.5 games back of the Seattle Mariners, guys. Who would have ever thought we did? But besides us.
Hold on.
Besides Tom.
Thank
Besides
you.
Tom, motherfucker. Don't correct me. I can correct myself. Thank you. So, there was a mouse in my pocket. Whatever. Now, people, don't come for me. I'm a ride or die for this team, regardless if we win or lose. Now, am I an Asian Tiger mom? Absolutely. Am I going to feel the disappointment just a little bit more? Absolutely. Not Tom, though. Tom is even keeled. That's why he's on the show, to bring the even keeledness. All right? To bring the even keeledness. That's why Tom is here. So let's talk about the Blue Jay series. Hunter Brown, we're going to give you your flowers, sir. We are going to give you the pitcher of the month, as you should have won. I don't know if the White Sox were just getting a bone thrown to them, or I don't know why, because quite honestly, the only stat that Garrett Crochet had you in are strikeouts. What are we doing? That's really the only stat. The fact that you had a sub 1.5 ERA, that's dumb, Hunter Brown. That's so dumb. We love you for it. Your whip is minuscule. You should have won. You're the winners in our hearts. I know that doesn't make you feel any better because you have no idea who we are and you don't know that you're getting this love. But all I'm saying is that the real ones fucking know. And the real ones are going to give you the respect and the recognition you deserve. So Hunter Brown, hats off. If I actually would take this hat off, I would. But it's not a good look under here, so we're not. But just know that I am metaphorically, figuratively doing it, not literally. Did you see his Instagram post on it?
I was just about to say, I want to thank MLB for fucking this up, because you have made a huge Dorito-sized, pizza-sized chip on his shoulder, because his Instagram basically said, and I took that personally. And I love that. And I absolutely fucking love it, because now if you thought it was all gas, no brakes before, he's even more motivated to prove how silly this was. And I really wonder, are they trying to build Garrett Crochet's like trade value up? Are they trying to make
Absolutely.
them because honestly, the only team that benefits from that, in my opinion, is whoever gets him. Oh, he was pitcher of the month, such as such. Like you make him more accomplished. Therefore, justifying whatever trade that may come, because it's very clear that the White Sox are going to be sellers. But in the meantime, for us as Astros fans, disrespected, motivated Hunter Brown might be the best version of him. So if he was good before, he might be great after.
We shall see. We shall see, because Hunter goes tomorrow. Diesel Day. We will see what he can do against this more potent Twins lineup versus the tepid, limp Blue Jays lineup.
Limp.
We'll see. We will see if anybody can get Jose Miranda out. Jesus effing Christ. Jose Miranda is on another planet right now. He's, you know what? Don't ever send me back to AAA. I don't want to go. And congrats to him, because he is on another planet. I think he's he broke some record for the Twins tonight.
It's all-time
10.
hits in a row. It's 10.
Okay, 10. Yeah. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous.
I know it won't happen, and I know it shouldn't happen, and I know it's probably wrong for me to say, but if I'm Hunter Brown tomorrow, and I know he won't do it, and he shouldn't, it's the right thing to not do. But if I am Hunter Brown, I am putting 97 in an ass cheek tomorrow, because I'm sick and tired of watching all these teams hit these Astros and nobody serving one back. So if I'm Hunter Brown and I want to protect my short king, I would very much like that him, their hottest hitter, their record breaker, takes one in the ass and go, look, y'all want to fuck around, find out, here it is. Because Hunter can zip it. Hunter can bring it. I just won.
Okay.
I'll take the warning, 97, and not
Okay.
anywhere bony, the meatiest part of the body. I don't look at Jose Miranda like that, but I assume. And do it.
All I'm saying is that today was a bullpen game. Maybe tomorrow we just say is going to be another bullpen game, and we just trot out Rafael Montero. And
Opener.
then when Rafael Montero gets thrown out, oh, whoops. Okay. It really should be like Luis Contreras, since he'll just get sent down. And then maybe I'm not getting excited about Forrest Whitley. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking getting excited about Forrest Whitley. But I've been hearing numbers and I've been hearing stories, and I saw him in person with my own 2 eyes. He exists. And I'm just saying, maybe we bring him up until he gets hurt again, because undoubtedly the motherfucker cannot stay healthy. So we use him now.
You know what? You bring him up tomorrow. You put him on a plane, bring him up tomorrow, and he throws 98 at friggin' Jose Miranda. Give me somebody that will throw cheese at one of these cats to be like, hey, maybe we don't want to mess with the Astros anymore, because for 2 days in a row, stars. Not and CésarSalazar got one too, and I don't like that either. But Yordan took 2 yesterday.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't. I need people. Baseball is supposed to police itself, because the umpires sure as hell can't do it. So do it.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not going to happen, because
It's
we
not
know that's not what we do. But they should. But they fucking should. We're all over the place. We're sorry. Twins game is fresh in our minds, because the Blue Jay series was
Weeks ago.
it's the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, guys. But the fact that we won on Canada Day and we won on Independence Day, that just proves that we are America's team.
7 4th of Julys in a row. America's team. Done.
I mean, who else has a second baseman that got voted in to the All-Star game? Jose Altuve. Guess who didn't get voted in? Marcus Semien, in your own fucking home park, as it should be, because you suck, Marcus Semien. You don't actually suck, Marcus Semien. You just haven't been playing up to your level. Regardless, Jose Altuve, better second baseman by leaps and bounds.
Yordan Alvarez has homers in every country in North America. Multiple homers in every country in North America. America's team.
You cannot deny it, people. You can't deny it. All right. Oh my God. Arizona has scored 6 in the top of the 9th. Wow. Okay.
Trying to one
Sorry,
up
guys.
Minnesota.
Okay. So, like we said, Hunter Brown went against Yariel Rodriguez, and Yariel Rodriguez was dealing. Don't let the fact that we won that game get it twisted, because Yariel was dealing. And we won with a Jeremy Pena homer. Good job, Jeremy Pena. And then Yordan Alvarez with 2-run bomb. And that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. And Tuesday's game, that's the one where we could have won. Spencer Arrighetti, I love you, but you need to season just a tiny bit more, sir. And I feel badly, because he really shouldn't be up here, right? He is learning on the fly,
OJT.
taking lumps that probably shouldn't be taken this season, but he's doing it. And he's wearing it, and he is getting incrementally better and better. But it's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. And I will give him all of the flowers for doing it. Maybe a season too early, maybe 2 seasons too early. I don't know. But he got batted around, and it wasn't a great look, but we come back to score some runs, and That's all right, Spencer. You're learning. We will forgive you because really we ain't got much else choice to do, right? But I give him credit for coming out every start and giving it his all. He was getting squeezed too. He was. Hopefully he'll figure it out. And we said eliminate the walks. That's what the key was, to eliminate the walks. And it didn't happen in that game. Wednesday's game was fun. We just love when the Astros score all of the runs all of the times in multiple innings because it's the most fun, right? The Astros started Ronel Blanco, obviously, and Ronel was getting squeezed as well, but he didn't really have it either. He was just all over the place too. He goes out and gives you 5.2, and I was like, okay. I appreciated Joe taking him out when he did because I didn't want to overtax him. He was right at that 100 mark plateau anyways. And so I was like, all right, that's fine. We can do this. And the boys picked him up. The boys picked him up. And the bullpen, y'all, our bullpen has been rocky, but lately has been fucking nails. And Taylor motherfucking Scott. If I had flowers, I would give them to you as well, sir. And no one is giving Taylor Scott the props and the recognition that this guy deserves. Everyone's talking about Brian Abreu and Ryan Presley and Josh Hader and the guys that you know, right? No one is giving Taylor Scott the love and recognition that he deserves. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it because guess what, guys? This motherfucker has a 1.44 ERA. It's a sub 2 ERA, guys. In 43 innings pitched, he has 41 strikeouts and a 1.031 whip. That's very good if you guys weren't aware. But the fact that he has come in and basically just shut shit down. Like, where would the Astros be without Taylor Scott, Seth Martinez, Ronel Blanco?
They would not be here.
No.
They would be
Absolutely
sellers
not.
right now. They would not be here. I think he's got some stat where he's only actually allowed like 2 inherited runners to score all season. He's just really been really good coming in with traffic, minimizing the damage. He's also been very good in his own right when he starts it in and clean. But Taylor Scott, it's so wild because this is like the first major league roster that he's made. He'd been bounced around. He's not a young guy. I believe he's 30 and
31, I think.
okay, 31. And yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of wear and tear. And dude's just absolutely performing. I don't know if this is the start of something great. And he
Oh,
is going
I
to
take
be
that back. He's 32. He just had a birthday, June 1st.
okay. He's even older. So I don't know if this is the start of something great for the next couple of years, but I hope it is because props to Dana Brown for finding this gem and putting it in the bullpen. In a bullpen where we didn't know how we were going to get to those big three. The season started and there was Rafael Montero. I don't know about that. Yeah, Seth Martinez, but then what else? But Parker Mashinsky was a name. Forrest Whitley was a name. And then this dude Taylor
Penn
Scott shows up.
Murphy was a
Penn
name. You
Murphy
remember
was a
Penn
name.
Murphy?
Yeah. And then Taylor Scott makes the lineup, and I think he was the first one out of the pen. If my memory serves me correct, in that Yankee series, he was like the very first reliever. And I was like, wow, they went to him right away. Or if it wasn't that game, it was like the second game. We got Taylor Scott early, and I think he got nicked up a little bit, but man, he's been absolutely phenomenal since.
Yeah. So in the Ronel Blanco game, it was 5.2 innings pitched for Ronel. Taylor Scott came in, gave up a hit in point 0.1 innings, and then I think he threw 3 pitches to get out of that inning. And then Brian Abreu came in for the next inning. Brian King came in, and then Rafael Montero came in. Big shout out to Brian King and Luis Contreras. We will get to Luis Contreras' performance tonight. We're going back in time, people. We're going back in time and we're giving props where props are due for the past performances. So Brian Abreu, Brian King, Rafael Montero, and we've been saying this for, I don't know, years now about Rafael Montero in low leverage situations when there's nobody on, Rafael Montero is allowed to pitch. That's the only time. Don't bring him in leverage situations. Do not bring him in when there's runners on, but you give him a clean inning and a couple of runs insurance, it's less nerve-wracking. It's less nerve-wracking, and Rafael Montero came in and closed it out, struck out one, lowered his ERA to 4.18. You can't ask for a much better game than that. And then Independence Day, we knew that it was going to be fireworks on Independence Day because it was going to be Fromber versus Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett. I don't know why I said it like that. That's weird. And Chris Bassett, if you do not know, basically Yordan is Chris Bassett's daddy. Just 100%. So much so that in the 4th inning of that game, with 2 on and 2 out, they intentionally walked Yordan Alvarez. But The first inning was fireworks for both teams. Altuve singles on 2 pitches. Alex Bregman singles on 4 pitches. Yordanalvarez, he wanted no part of Yordanalvarez and basically gave him 1 pitch to hit, and it was the first pitch, and then just intentionally walked him. Bases are loaded. Yainer grounds out. We have 1. John Singleton singles. Excuse me, 2 RBI single. So now it's 3-0. Jeremy Pena walks. Joey Loperfido pops out. Mauricio Dubon pops out. And we go in and we're like, okay, Fromber, you got a 3-0 lead.
Hold my
Fromber
beer.
said, hold my beer. I don't want this to be easy. Which Fromber did you want? You wanted the Fromber that just ground balled everybody to death and didn't give up. Like you wanted, I'm sorry, that Fromber can't come to the phone right now. And then immediately just gives the 3 runs back.
In his defense, though, he was absolutely getting squeezed.
Yes.
And that I've never seen so much bad umpiring consistently like I'm seeing right now. I feel so bad for some of these pitchers. And while Fromber is a head case, and I think obviously he does not diffuse situations, he only compounds them. I think that these guys are getting some of the worst strike zones to deal with. And the hitters, too. In that same game, Yordan Alvarez is at the dish, and the whole building knows that Chris Bassett wants nothing to do with Yordan Alvarez. He throws this man 5 balls, and the umpire saw it so fit to call 2 of them strikes for no reason, like up around his shoulders to the point where Joe Espada is chirping at this umpire, and this umpire is having to tell Joe Espada to shut up because the strike zone's so bad. And it's, I get it. You're going to miss calls. You're going to miss the close ones. The ones that are 2-3 inches off the plate, 2-3 inches high, 2-3 inches low. Come on. There's no way that you've got all this experience. And I want to say in the last 10 games, the Astros had a rookie umpire. So you go, okay, whatever, the rookie umpire. But some of these guys are veterans that are just absolutely making some horrendous calls that are changing at bats and changing what the Astros are able to do on the mound and behind the dish. I can only imagine if Bregman was getting a strike zone that was consistent, what the numbers would look like for him right now, because he seems really locked in. Yordan, same thing. Tuve gets some stuff. Tuve's been thrown out of games for pitches that are hitting him and stuff like that. So I really think that something needs to be done. I'm ready for the challenge system. Suzy's been banging the drum for that's in AAA. I'm ready for the robot umps. I'm ready to take all those old guys that are back there and just let them go do something else. I don't care what it is, just something else.
The crazy thing is, you mentioned the rookie umpire. The crazy thing is about that game, minus him ejecting Jose Altuve, the actual balls and strikes call on that particular game was actually almost perfect. And I tweeted out that day, my hot take was that rookie umpires that had been in AAA with this challenge system are going to be much more accurate than the veteran umpires because they've had to deal with this balls and strikes and the automatic challenge system and all of that because they've had to deal with it and they had to wear egg on their face when a challenged call they have to overturn. That game, again, minus the Jose Altuve ejection, was actually a beautifully called game. It was equal for both sides. There was a couple of missed calls, but the calls that he missed were consistent on both sides. And that's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm fucking asking for. If you want to miss a call, okay, then call it the same way on both sides. That's all I ask. And that guy did. I don't remember his name. I do remember he was the rookie. I don't remember his name, but he did. But these last games were just fucking horrific. And they were veteran umpires. Ben May, we're coming for you, sir. What are we doing? Okay. Angel Hernandez retired and people are just falling all over themselves to try to be the new fucking Angel Hernandez. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. We don't want to know your names, umpires. Okay. We don't want to know your names. Obviously, we cannot even remember the umpire that had the perfect game called. We just know that it happened, but we can't remember his name. We're just going to remember the bad ones. That's on us. But yeah, no, there was some of these calls that changed at bats. And some of these guys, the Blue Jays that got hits, you got to tip your cap because some of these hits that they were getting were balls or pitches outside the zone that they were just going down and getting or extending their arms and getting. And you just tip your cap and you move on. But scores 3-3 after the first. And it was tied for quite a bit. And Chris Bassett, Lord have mercy, Chris Bassett. I will give him his flowers though. Now I have to go back and watch this game, like physically put my eyeballs on this game because I was listening to the game and also I was drinking, which is why I did not do my usual tweeting out of horrific umpiring strikes and balls calls because I was drinking. Had I not had alcohol in my system though, the Yordan at bat would have riled me up a good fair amount. just so much.
I was
But
upset and I
think
was
at
sober.
yeah, no, I think at that point I had quite a few Jello shots. Yeah, there were some Jello shots and some bitch beers in my system, so I was feeling good. So maybe I just need to watch all of my games half drunk, and that way my blood pressure won't raise. I don't think my liver will be very happy, but my blood pressure will probably be great. So notes for Suzy. But yeah, no, Jordan took a ball that was up and in and turned on it and just was fucking majestic, and I loved it so much. So much. Tom, was there anything that you saw actually physically with your eyeballs for that game that I
Like
am failing to mention?
Jeremy Pena has been on a tear as of late. Extra base hits. He's in the midst of a 5 or 6 game hitting streak, which obviously this series was part of it. He had an extra base hit in every game in that series, which
He
that's
hit a
pretty
home run in
impressive.
this one.
Yep, yep.
Jeremy Pena loves hitting home runs in Canada, apparently.
The Blue Jays, they bring it out in him.
So Fromber and Yainer, that was the combo. That was the battery. I forgot that word momentarily. The battery on 4th of July on Thursday.
I didn't think it was
And
that bad.
this was the first time that Yainer had caught Fromber since that meltdown versus the Angels. It'll be very interesting to see when VictorCaratini comes back, who will catch him.
I think Yainer holds him accountable. And I think the rest of them kind of baby him. I could be wrong. That's a hot take, 100% hot take. When I see Yainer back there behind the dish, he's constantly verbally communicating stuff with the pitchers. And I don't know, maybe Framber doesn't want to hear it. Framber just wants you to sit there and catch. And like when I see him not do a mound visit, but take his mask off and talk to the mound, I constantly feel like that's really good, a really good catcher thing to do, as opposed to just sit back there and do nothing. Whether it's up, down, left, calm, that kind of thing, I appreciate that. That's a catcher that's engaged. That's a catcher that's trying to get the pitcher through whatever the pitcher's got going on. It's easy to sit back there and catch when everything's good. It's when you're not locating. It's when, like Hunter, for example, Hunter was having issues in that first start where he didn't have his best stuff early on and was able to battle. And I want to say Garner caught him that day. And I could be wrong, but he was able to get through and get to a point in that game where he did find his command and got really quick outs in the middle innings. And that's what allowed him to get as deep into that game as he did. And I think that Yainer, while he may not frame well, he may not be a good target to receive. I know that we talked about that. The guy, the actual catcher, the persona, I think he's great.
Yes, Yainer did catch Hunter on that game. I was going to say Monday. It wasn't Monday. Time is flat circle, guys. I have lost track of my days as well. So I don't actually know what day that game was on. And apparently, I'm looking at his ERA. Hunter's ERA is down to 4.07. When it was at a 9, it was almost a 10 in April, guys. Good on you, Hunter Brown. I'm so proud of you, sir. So proud.
25,
So,
baby.
25 what? Oh,
Hunter, he's 25. Yeah. Yeah. I want to do all the Juan Soto things. I think people forget Hunter Brown has been up with this team now. This is like his 3rd year, right? And it's just crazy when you think about he's only 25. Like Spencer's getting that similar treatment, right? Hunter had to go through all of these lumps last year and people doubted if he could do it. The whole baby JV thing really wasn't translating. He wasn't having these great dominant starts. And I think he has to learn to adjust to the adjustments the hitters make, right? Obviously, you've got good stuff and they're going to get the scouting report and they're going to watch you on a tablet and they're going to pick you apart piece by piece. And that's when you have to turn around and go, okay, I know what you're trying to do. So now I have to beat you a different way. And for Hunter, it's starting to click. And I think when Spencer gets there, he'll be very similar.
Absolutely. That is the Blue Jays series, guys. And we shall see how this Twins lineup fares. Now, the Twins are hot, guys. The Twins are hot. Like I said, we talked about Jose Miranda, who has been just literally on fire. Royce Lewis, who was their third baseman, that has crazy power, crazy pop. Unfortunately, went on the IL with an adductor strain. And apparently, it's like a grade 2 adductor strain. So he's going to be out for quite some time. They
You said
brought up Brooks
unfortunately?
Lee. I say unfortunately because he's on one of my fantasy teams. It is what it is, man.
Fortunately
Play
for
the
these
hot
Astros.
We say fortunately, but Brooks Lee, who is his replacement, has come up and just hit the shit out of the ball. It's like Jose Miranda. Oh, Royce Lewis, who? No, y'all are going to talk about me now. Brooks Lee comes up. No, nothing. There is no beats skipped here. Brooks Lee is now something dumb like 6 for 10 of his last ABs. Like just absolute numbers that Brooksley is doing. And I'm wondering if it's just that whole new hitter type deal, so they don't have, like, the numbers, quote, unquote, "the stats" on him yet, and, once the league adjusts, we'll see, who knows, but Carlos Correa has been locked in, and they also have a super nasty bullpen too. They're without a couple of their big bullpen guys, but the other guys that have been brought up have been filling in admirably as well. So the last time we played them, I wanna say that Yuan Duran was on the IL. Yuan Duran is no longer on the IL, and you wanna talk about nasty closers. Whew. Ay, 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 that guy, man. So the pitching matchups, tonight's game was obviously a bullpen game for us. We'll get into that in just a minute, and we will talk about why Seth Martinez was not left out for a little bit longer. We'll talk about it. But tonight was a bullpen game for us and went against Pablo Lopez, which is their, I would say, ace. He's had his ups and downs this season, but has been pretty good. Not as dominant as he was last season, but still a very dominant pitcher. Tomorrow's pitching matchup is Diesel Day. Obviously, it's Hunter Brown versus Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan is a right-handed pitcher. His record is 5-5 with a 3.21 ERA. And then Sunday's game is Spencer Arrighetti versus Simeon Woods Richardson, another right-handed pitcher, actually from the Houston area. I want to say Sugarland. I think he went to high school.
I thought he was from the Woodlands.
Is he from the Woodlands? I don't know. So I'm gonna go back and we'll just say Houston area, and it's somewhere in and around H-Town. But he has come on and done really well for them, filling in, and those games are both day games. So quick turnaround there. With Spencer pitching on Sunday, like I said, we really need to go out and win the Diesel Day game. Let's just chat about tonight's game against the Twins. The final score, guys, the final score was 13-12. 13-12. If you were watching this game, if you had eyeballs on this game, if you had ears in this game, if you were listening to the game, you know that the Twins put up 7 in the bottom of the ninth because we had to get one more out. That's all we had to do. We just had to get one more fucking out. And Luis Contreras, bless his oh so tired heart, he couldn't get it. Could not get it. So now let's back up just a little bit and tell you the order in which the bullpen arms came on out and what kind of happened. All right. So the game started with Sean Dubin on the bump. And the last bullpen game, he got what, 3 2/3 innings?
I believe so. No hit, scoreless.
No, it was tremendous. Did really well. Exceeded expectations. Let's put it that way. Right. Today was a little bit more rocky, but the bottom of the first 3 outs, nice, clean, easy. Okay. The top of the second, Yainer walks, John Singleton singled, Jeremy Peña singles, it's 1-0. Jakemeyers, Joey Loperfido strikeout, CésarSalazar singles, it's 2-0. Jose Altuve singles, it's 3-0. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nice and easy, right? Nope, nope. The bottom of the second, Jose Miranda singles, Carlos Santana doubles, Max Kepler lines out, Byron Buxton is hit by a pitch. I totally forgot Byron Buxton was hit by a pitch, but obviously that was not intentional. That's not a thing, right? And then Brooksley singles. Now it's 3-1. Christian Vasquez pops out. Willie Castro walks. Now it's 2-3. Carlos Correa fly out. That's the amazing catch that Jose Altuve made. And we're out of the inning. Top of the third, Pablo Lopez comes out, does his thing. Bottom of the third, Trevor Larnach strikes out. Jose Miranda, like we said, has been on a tear. This motherfucker turned on one. It wasn't even in the strike zone. I can't blame you, Sean Dubin. Literally, they did not pitch to Jose Miranda. There are 5 pitches. You guys can't see that. But if you are audio only, go look at the YouTube, okay? I'm showing you the zone right now. If you can see the tiny blue ball, it's outside the zone, guys. It's outside the zone. Jose Miranda pulled his hands in, turned on that motherfucker, and shot it out there. And I'm all, I can't even be mad, Sean Dubin. I can't even be mad because it's Jose Miranda and he's on one. And that it wasn't even in the zone. Not in the zone at all. Now we're tied at 3-3, and then Seth Martinez replaces Sean Dubin after Sean Dubin gives up the home run. We're tied at 3-3. Carlos Santana flies out, and then Max Kepler singles. So then Seth Martinez comes on with 2 on, 1 out. Excuse me, 2 outs, 1 on. Seth Martinez comes in and gets Byron Buxton in 3 pitches. Bottom of the fourth, Seth Martinez gives up a double in 2 pitches. That's to Brooks Christian Vasquez sack bunt with 1 pitch. Willie Castro bunt, pop out, 1 pitch. Carlos Correa ground out, 1 pitch. Now, people, if you've listened to the pod, this is not a math pod. We don't do basic arithmetic over here. That's not what we do. But even I know that was 5 pitches in that inning. 5. Between that and the 1, 2, 3 pitches that he threw to Byron Buxton. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's 8. 8 pitches. What the fuck are we doing? Why could he not have come out for an extra inning? Was it the ups, downs? Up, downs? Was it the pause? I don't know.
For me, I don't understand it because you've got a guy that you've used all season long, and I've always felt like if you get the guy up to pitch, you want to get whatever that number is, right? 15, 20, 25 pitches, whatever that number may be. But on a bullpen day, I think everybody's like all hands on deck, right? You got a little bit further leash. For example, Dubin, the last start. I don't know the validity of this, if there was just actually a thing that was said or if this was just something that was conveyed. But Brian McTaggart was out there saying, oh, Sean Dubin can expect to go 30 to 35 pitches, and they're hoping he'll get 1 time through the order. And when I read that on Twitter, I was like, that doesn't sound right because he's going to have to be on one to go through all 9 guys in 35 pitches. It's not how baseball works, in my opinion. You're probably going to need to have just incredible stuff and get first pitch swinging guys to go to do that. If it's anything, if y'all have seen these games, these counts have been worked, a lot of foul balls, guys have elevated pitch counts. So Dubin ends up going 50 pitches or something like that. Didn't matter. He was pitching. I think Joe Espada did a great job recognizing, okay, my guy's the end of his leash. Seth Martinez has been on this team a couple of years now. I firmly believe that 8 pitches is just not enough for him. All it does for me is it really put him in a position later where he had to lean on Contreras because he didn't want to touch any of these other pitchers. And it's, you already committed to Seth Martinez. You might as well get your money's worth because he's going to be down realistically one of these games because you're not going to want to pitch him all 3. Let him be down tomorrow. Let Contreras be down tomorrow. And then you're not worried about getting Hader up. But in what Suzy will tell you later on in life, the fact that the Astros only got 8 pitches out of Seth Martinez is probably what made this game closer than it had to be because Contreras has been in mop-up duty. Like this is the second time in, I don't know, a week. And his pitch count got up there, and that's how the game got out of hand.
Yeah. So the bottom of the 5th, Brian King replaced Seth Martinez. So you mean to tell me that you couldn't get Seth Martinez to go out again? And I'm wondering if maybe because the top of the 5th was maybe a little bit longer. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the reasoning. I would be interested to hear if anybody, if like McTaggart or Chandler asked Joe Espada their reasoning on why. So we started recording before we could listen to any of the interviews or anything like that. So I'm hoping that maybe after we're done recording, we'll get a little bit more clarity on this. But as it stands now, like I said, we start recording before any of those answers were given. This is why we are musing on the bullpen usage. But in the top of the 5th, Cesar strikes out on 6 pitches. Jose Altuve singles. And then, of course, Jose Altuve gets caught stealing. Second, Alex Bregman walks on 8 pitches. And then Yordanalvarez pops out in 1 pitch. I'm wondering if maybe since the top of the 5th was a little bit longer, if he'd gotten cold. I don't know. That's what I'm going to assume as of right now. But the bottom of the 5th, Brian King comes in and walks Manny Margot. Jose Miranda, like I said, is on fire, is on just another planet, and doubles. So now the score is 4-3. Carlos Santana pops out. Then there's a fielder's choice. Oh, I missed that one, apparently. Catcher's interference.
Oh no. So they tried to call catcher's interference. The Twins did. The Twins challenged that it was catcher's interference because who hit the ball? I can't remember who hit the ball. He hit it back to the pitcher.
Kepler.
Yeah, he hit it back to the pitcher. King goes home with it. Caesar comes out in front of the plate, then leans back over the plate. And
okay. So that's what it was. So it says here that it's catcher interference, but the thing was blocking the plate.
yes,
That's what they were. That's weird. Okay, I remember this. I'm like, catcher's interference. I don't remember catcher's interference, but it was blocking the plate. The Twins said that CésarSalazar was blocking the plate, but he literally had to jump up to catch the ball. And if you have the ball, you can be where the fuck you want in front of the plate. So Jose Miranda is out at home. Byron Buxton doubles, and then Brooksley grounds out. So the top of the 6th, Yainer singles, John Singleton singles. The bottom of the lineup in this game, guys, doing work. Doing work. The middle and the bottom of this lineup, chef's kiss, guys. You want to know how good teams are winning baseball games? Bottom of the lineup, doing work. So, Jeremy
Also,
Pena,
since we're talking lineup, not enough is being said about yainerdiaz batting cleanup. He's got something like 23 RBIs in 24 games. Cleanup was the black hole at the beginning of the season. Nobody could drive guys in. Yainerdiaz, leave him there. Move whoever the fuck you want anywhere else. Yainerdiaz is your cleanup hitter because he's phenomenal at driving in runs. Where you had Bregman there, it struggled. Who else got us? Obviously, Jose Abreu was there forever, and Jordan was there and struggled.
Tuck.
I love that he's behind Jordan because I think that if you walk Jordan, now you have to come to yainerdiaz, and he's proven that he's got power that he can hit, and he's going to all fields. So love it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he got to a pitch today that was just like all arms. It was down and away, and he pulled this motherfucker. And I
Right over
understand.
Correa, right? It was like he jumped and
Yes.
couldn't get to it. Yeah,
hmm I
incredibly
was like, I
strong.
don't understand how he even got to the ball, but apparently he's been hanging out with Jose Altuve just a little bit. But he got it into left field over Correa, and it was beautiful. Just dunked it right in. And the fact that he has been doing this again, guys, we have been winning, and not enough has been said that we've been doing all of this motherfucking winning without Kyle our tall king. I love you, sir, Kyle Tucker. I don't know if you've just lost your leg at this point. I hope it heals up. I don't know why they couldn't just give you some sort of PRP injection, give you all of the white blood cells, help you heal.
Real quick,
But
what happens to this lineup when Tucker comes back? Where does he go? Like right now, Bregman's great at 2. Like the top looks phenomenal. So are you telling me that Tuck goes into 5th? As I'm not opposed to it. I just think some people are going to be like, Burrow, we can't do that. That's not where he goes. But you're not touching Tuve. This is the best version of Bregman we've seen all season. Lock the fuck in. Jordan is perfect where he's at. We just got done talking about Yainer being the run producing dude and cleanup that you needed. And then if you were to put Tuck at 5th, then you've got that left, right, left with Jordan. I know it sounds gross to say. It doesn't feel right, but I could get with it.
I don't hate it, but I hate it. But if you can imagine, Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Tuck, Yainer, that just lengthens your lineup even more because now at this point, Jordan's gonna get better pitches to hit because who the fuck is gonna walk Jordan to get to Tuck?
I'm the champion for both of them being back to back. I love that. I absolutely, you're right. But I don't know. There's something about where Yainer being right there in cleanup. He's better there than he is anywhere else. So,
Like I said,
so,
I don't hate it, but I hate it.
so I love that. But if you're telling me now he's protected by Tucker, I love that. And then Pena behind Tucker, I love that too.
I feel like when
I know
Tuck
this is
comes
not a
back,
question for tonight, but you just said that, and I was like, wait, where does he go?
yeah, no.
And I'm
If
excited about it because that's going to be such a great problem to have.
but can you now imagine those 4 are your top 4, and then you get Yainer, then you get Pena. If Jake Myers
Ooh,
continues to be this version of Jake Myers, and now you only have the quote unquote weak link as Joey, as Chaz,
probably
as
Doobie. That would be Doobie, right? Or
okay,
John, or Big John. We didn't talk
or
first
Big
base.
John.
Yeah, those are your weak links. That's a good problem to have.
And I say John is the quote unquote weak link. He's really not. His last games, he's been getting on base via walk. He's been getting on base via singles. Give me
Serviceable.
that.
Yes, yes. No, you're right. But I'm just saying, it'll be 2 weeks before we can even dream about it because he's got to go on a rehab start and it'll be after the All-Star break. I'm just saying, this lineup has been churning out runs at a clip right now. I'm a big run differential guy. I think that speaks volumes as to whether or not your team is any good, right? For the longest time, the Astros were like really bad and they were at like a 0. So since this last 13 out of 15 games, their run differential right now is plus 44. Do you know what the Mariners run differential is?
Minus
Plus 6.
oh, they got it in the plus.
Yeah. Yeah. But barely. Good teams outscore teams and stop teams from scoring runs. The Twins, they're plus 44. Good team. Royals, plus 49. Good team. The ultimate is the Orioles right now, or the Phillies. They're plus 114 and plus 119. Those guys are monsters. They're just scoring tons and tons of runs. So for me, I want that.
Yeah, no, don't we all? Don't we fucking all? So we're gonna go back to this top of the 6th, where Jeremy Pena has now tied it up 4-4, and we now knock out Pablo Lopez in the top of the 6th because he has allowed 3 straight hits. Jorge Alcala replaces Pablo Lopez and promptly gets Jakemeyers to strike out. Then there's a wild pitch. And now runners are on second and third. Joey Loperfido hits a ground rule double. He needed that in the worst fucking way, man. Good night. Joey Loperfido. This is the Joey Loperfido game because we'll talk about it in a minute, but he made probably the catch of the year. It's not in a playoff game, so it's not going to be remembered as highly.
Not going to be in a picture behind you.
It's not gonna be in a picture behind me, but it was a circus fucking catch. SportsCenter will probably talk about it when it's not a baseball show. It will make SportsCenter, ESPN SportsCenter highlight with the basketball, with the soccer, with the whatever else is going on in the world right now. But Joey Loperfido hits a ground rule double, and now it's 6-4. CésarSalazar. We have given CésarSalazar the flowers on this show, but this guy, he's getting on base via hits, he's getting on base via walks, he's getting on base via hit by pitch. I can't remember a time. I cannot remember a time when all 3 catchers have been actually doing things and not been a black hole. So shout out VictorCaratini, yainerdiaz, and CésarSalazar.
Are you prepared to trade him?
Why? Why you gotta ruin my fucking vibe like that?
I'm just
That's
asking.
just rude. That's fucking rude.
I'm just asking. You just said that, and all I can think of is like, all right, one of them's got to go. Because when Victor comes back, you're going to send him back to Sugarland. But you just went out and got Omar Narvaez, who's in Sugarland. So what are you going to do?
No, I don't want Omar Narvaez anywhere near this fucking team. Go trade Omar Narvaez, okay? No, I don't. No. It's not going to happen. I know. All right? I'm a smart baseball motherfucking person. I understand that we're not actually going to trade Omar Narvaez because nobody fucking wants him. There's a reason nobody fucking wants him. No, I want 3 catchers on this team, and I want it to be Victor and Yainer and CésarSalazar.
Okay.
That's what needs to happen. Don't talk to me about trading fucking catchers. Stop it. Jose Altuve flies out. Alex Bregman walks. Jordan grounds out. Bottom of the 6th. Again, when there's nobody on base and it's a clean inning, Rafael Montero can get it done. All right. So the bottom of the 6th, Rafael comes in, pops out. Christian Vasquez pops out. Willie Castro strikes out. Carlos Correa grounds out. It's top of the 7th. Single. Yainer strikes out. John Singleton is called out on strikes. This motherfucker, they weren't strikes. They're very close. They're very close. Very close. But they weren't strikes. There was one pitch that was actually in the zone. Everything else. So John got squeezed. Of course he did. Jeremy Peña, singles. Jeremy Peña, I will give Jeremy Peña flowers because his zone recognition has gotten a lot better. He has not been swinging out of his shoes at low and away sliders. Now, don't get me wrong. He has his moments, but it hasn't been as bad as it has been. And he's adjusted and he's doing the things and we love it. So Jeremy Peña singles, Jakemeyers doubles because of course he did because he's on my bench. And now it's 7-4. Joey Loperfido hit by pitch. So that's 3 guys that were hit by pitches for us. CésarSalazar grounds out and Brian Abreu comes in. Brian Abreu, I need Brian Abreu to lock it up much quicker. I expect perfection out of Brian Abreu. I should not, but I do. Brian Abreu has been so good for so long that when he comes in, everyone just expects for another 0. That's on me and having unrealistic expectations because he did. He locked it back up. He did. He locked it back up. Again, Jose Miranda. Fucking Jose Miranda. We'll see if anybody tomorrow can get Jose Miranda out, but Jose Miranda singles. Carlos Santana walks on 4 pitches that were literally not close to the zone. I don't know if they were pitching around Carlos Santana. Don't get me wrong. He can hit a long ball, but it's Carlos Santana. I feel Brian Abreu stuff, he could probably get Carlos Santana out, but I don't know. Like I said, none of these pitches were close. So Carlos Santana walks. Max Kepler singles on a pitch that was down below the zone. It sucks because it's Max Kepler and he's very hot, but that doesn't give you the right to hit the ball below the zone, Max Kepler. It's just, I don't like that, sir. But now it is 7-5. And then Brian Abreu said, oh, okay, all right, now we can't fuck around anymore. And then proceeds to strike out Byron Buxton and then strike out Brooks Lee on a pitch that was dotted, and it was beautiful.
So Brian Abreu versus Carlos Santana career, Tana's 2 for 4 with a double. So he probably wanted no part of.
Okay. Then there's that. So he was pitching around Carlos Santana, which kind of came back to bite us because Max Kepler singled on a pitch below the zone. But whatever. I will forgive you, Max Kepler, because you are extremely hot. However, top of the 8th, Jose Altuve is hit by this pitch and immediately calls for Joe Espada and the trainers come out. Immediately removes himself out of the game. When I tell you that my heart dropped, it subsequently dropped and then was like in my throat at the same time. How that happens, I don't actually know, but those are the feelings that my body had in like back-to-back instances. Bodies are a weird thing. Regardless, all of the bad feelings when Jose Altuve took himself out of the game. I was tweeting up a furious storm, by the way. If you don't follow the Twitter, you probably should if you're an Astros fan, because it's stupid, ridiculous, but all very valid feelings during this whole time. And I think I said, if you can't fucking throw up and in, if you can't control that, don't be throwing up and in. Give the pitchers back the fucking spider tack
No,
and be done with it.
I don't think that's the answer. The
Give the
answer,
pitchers fucking something.
it's not a thing where it's like, oh, he lost the grip. He actually wanted to make that pitch inside. The catcher set up in there. The problem is that spider tack is a spin thing. They're them being able to locate, that's on them. Right now, pitchers are groomed to throw hard and to spin the baseball. Throw hard, spin the baseball. Throw hard, spin the baseball. Location, we'll figure that out when we get it. So if you can't locate in, then don't throw in. Find another way. And I don't even feel like the Astros stand on top of the plate like that. It's just they're incredibly good hitters and they don't know how to deal with them. And I just want retaliation at this point. They're not going to change their ways. So I just need Hunter to right that wrong for me.
I don't think that's going to actually happen, but we'll see. So obviously Mauricio Dubon comes in for Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman promptly singles, and then Yordan Alvarez singles. And I think at this point I had tweeted out, make him fucking pay, Yordan. Just park it in the fucking seats, and that would be retribution enough, right? He did not park it in the seats. He got a single. We got run out of it, so it's 8-5 now. Yainerdiaz singles. That was the at bat where I had mentioned earlier that it was like down and away. It was almost in the other batter's box, guys. That's how far down and away it was. And Yainerdiaz just all arms just popped it over Carlos Correa's head, and it was beautiful. John Singleton grounds out. Alex Bregman is out at home, but now the bases are juiced. Jeremy Pena hits a sac fly, and Manuel Margot had this ball. I don't know what happened, but the ball clanked out of his glove, and it
Heel.
was just, it hit the heel of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
It looked like it
I
had a
apparently need
little
glasses.
had a little sinking action to it because he started here and the ball just went. Meh. But I still was like, oh my god, I can't believe he didn't catch this baseball.
Yeah. So it's 9-5. Jakemeyers hits a sac fly. It's 10-5. And Joey pops out for the third out. The bottom of the eighth, Luis Contreras comes in now to replace Brian Abreu. Now, by this time, what did I just say the score was, guys? 10-5. 10-5. Luis Contreras comes in as mop-up duty, right? We don't expect this game to get so fucking out of hand. Christian Vasquez singles, and then Joey Loperfido makes an absolute circus catch. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you guys need to go watch it. I will probably put the link to it in the show notes. But basically, Joey Loperfido jumps up to rob what would have been a ground rule double if he didn't actually catch this. But he goes up and he gets it into his glove, and it's almost like a snow cone, and it pops out of his glove. And then as he's like rotating back to the ground, he catches it with his bare hand and lands on his back. All of my flabbers were gasted when I saw this play. And at this point, you're all, what? And they're motioning, so Joey throws it back in. And apparently, if Christian Vasquez had a run to second, obviously he needed to get back. Apparently, if John Singleton had tagged him at first, they would have doubled him off, right? Am I understanding that properly?
I think initially, because he had passed Christian Vasquez, they were saying that he was out because he ran past
Willie
the lead
Castro
runner.
was out.
Right,
Willie
right.
Castro was out. But what I'm saying is, since Christian Vasquez, because Christian Vasquez was already at first, he was already on his way to second. But then Christian Vasquez had to come back to first. So what I'm saying is, when Joey Loperfido threw it to John Singleton,
Mhm.
and John Singleton had it, couldn't he have tagged Christian Vasquez and then that would have been the
All he had to do was
play?
beat him to the bag, but Vasquez got back to the bag before the ball made it in
Okay, so
because he
even if
didn't tag. Yeah, he wasn't tagging. He thought it was going to be a hit, so he ran. So
Gotcha.
once Joey caught it, he's getting back to first base. And as it turned out, they tried to get the double play, but Vasquez beat the throw in.
Okay. Regardless, on the broadcast, TK and Blum were talking about why Joe Espada basically challenged the play to make sure to see exactly like what the ruling was, because it was going to be an out regardless. But essentially, the reason Joe Espada challenged it was so that Joey Loperfido could get the actual credit for the catch. And if that's the reason, hats off Joe Espada, because Joey Loperfido deserved all of the credit for that fucking catch and more, because that was amazing. And I'm not going to go as far as to say that if Kyle Tucker was in right field, that Kyle Tucker doesn't make that play. But I feel like if Kyle Tucker was out there, he probably would have made the play anyways, though, just because he's taller. he would have just caught the ball and now we wouldn't have had the circus catch. But because Joey Loperfido is a little bit shorter, he didn't really make the catch and then had to make the catch barehanded. That's all I'm saying.
It was
Where's
cooler
Joey gonna
because it
play?
was Joey. Yeah, I got you.
Where's Joey Loperfido going to play when Kyle Tucker comes back?
He's not. He's going to be the 5th outfielder, and I think Trey Cabbage goes back down and Joey sparingly. And I hate that for him because that's not how he's going to like progress. But I don't think they send him down either for fear that if they need a guy, it's him. Plus, he's got that pseudo first base ability. He can play it. They just don't want him to. I don't know. He acquitted himself very well the first time he did it. So I think they keep Joey. I think they like Joey, and they send Trey down. But I hate it for him because he needs the bats. He needs to get the timing right. He can't play once a month, and then you feel like he's going to be a good baseball player.
I think he's a platoon bat with Chaz when Tuck comes back.
Chaz is a platoon bat with everyone else.
But I'm saying though, once Tuck comes back, which there's my tinfoil conspiracy, guys. I'm saying that the whole Tucker having the shin contusion and it's being this quote unquote bad, they're just using this as an excuse to figure out the Jake Chaz situation, which they've already have Jake, obviously with playing time, it's Jake, but also the who gets to play more, Chaz or Joey, feeling that out. And then thirdly, I think it is they are resting Kyle Tucker and they're trying to get Kyle Tucker all of the motherfucking rest so that he doesn't gas out in the playoffs like last season. The third option is probably the most correct, but my tinfoil hat conspiracy is
I think he's actually fractured his leg. I just think they're not telling anyone. I think
Why
they don't.
They tell everybody? Why wouldn't they tell anyone though? If he fractured his leg?
Because sports teams, any sport, they never want you to know the truth. They don't want anybody to read into it. They don't want to give information away. They want to keep that under their hat.
But then wouldn't he be walking around in a fucking boot or like with a crutch? One crutch?
Don't know.
A cane?
Don't know. I think that all depends on how severe it is. If it was something hairline where he could just overtime and rest, he could do that. Because he's at every game. He's traveled with the team. So it's obviously like he's there. But I really like the tinfoil hat, the third thing where it's like, hey, he burnt out last year. I like that. But it's just, man, he's a young guy. Like, this isn't 2-year-old somebody. Like,
yeah, but
I find it hard to believe that Tuck is going to be like, yeah, I'm sitting because I can't play 180 games in a season.
I think he can.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Really. But last season, there was the World Baseball Classic, and then we had the playoffs, World Baseball Classic, and then season. Honestly, if you look at his play in the playoffs, he looked tired. The bat speed went there. He looked tired. And that's a lot of play. And like he's been there all of the years for playoffs. So it's been longer seasons for him all of the years.
And you're right. You're 100% right. Last year was an extra special case because of the World Baseball Classic. I think they literally had a month off before they had to start getting ready for that thing from the ALCS. But they had this past offseason, he had an entire offseason. Went out, got engaged.
Got married.
Got married. So he had all the time off and he's looked the part. He was carrying the Astros for months at a time as like the sole source of offense. So I don't think Tuck at 27 years old, 27 and 171 days is going to go, oh no, that's too much baseball for me.
I don't think it's Tuck. I think maybe it was a team thing, especially since we've been winning. I think if we were scuffling or if we were not at 500 by the All-Star break, I think Tuck would be back in this lineup. But I think the fact that we are winning without him and that we are getting the runs, we've been averaging 6.5, 7 runs per game. These are not little wins by any means. So the fact that we are winning without him and they met the goal to be over or to get to 500 before All-Star break or at All-Star break. So the fact that we are this far in front of the All-Star break and we are winning and doing the things without him, I think is making the team a little bit more comfortable to be like, you know what? Yes, you take all the time you need, Tuck, and it will just help us on the back end. And in so doing, they're giving Joey reps where he wouldn't normally get reps. And that in turn opens up first base. So I think it sucks because don't get me wrong, I love Joey Loperfido, but would I much rather have Kyle Tucker on this team? Absolutely. My tinfoil hat conspiracy. Take it or leave it. That's my hot take. Again, now the top of the ninth, Cody Funderburk comes in and replaces Josh Winder, and CésarSalazar is hit by the pitch. And Cesar starts barking at him, and Cody Funderburk barking back. Carlos Santana, first baseman for the Twins, is trying to defuse the situation. Carlos Correa talking to the Twins. All I'm saying is something needs to happen. I don't think it needs to be Hunter Brown, but something needs to happen. Cesar's on base, Mauricio Dubon singles, and then Alex Bregman fucking hits a 3-run jack. And Alex Bregman had no business hitting a 3-run home run on this pitch, and it was like down and in. And you literally see Cody Funderbunk turn around and say, "What the fuck? How?" Exactly, Cody. We all are questioning this because he pulled his fucking hands in and got to this pitch. It was majestic. I wasn't able to watch it on the first time because I was tucking my children in, but I watched the replay of it and it was fucking amazing. And good thing that Alex Bregman did, because by this time it's 13-5 and we needed all of those fucking runs. Every single one of them. So now it's 13-5. And what did I say, guys? It was the top of the 9th. They pull Jordan. Chaz gets to pinch hit. Chaz immediately lines out because, of course, he does. And then Yainer grounds out. John Singleton walks. Jeremy Peña flies out. Bottom of the 9th. Chaz is still in left field. They replace Jose Miranda with Austin Martin. Manny Margot strikes out. So there's 1 out. Austin Martin, the guy who got to pinch hit, gets a single. And you're like, what the fuck? Can we not? It's 13-5, guys. What are you doing? Can you just get your outs? Let's get the fuck home. Kyle Farmer strikes out. And then Max Kepler singles. So now it's 2 outs, guys. 2 outs, 1 on. Byron Buxton singles. So now it's 2 on, 2 out. And at this point, I'm like, that's fine. It's okay. You got to run. But now it's 6-13. We're good. We're good. Brooks singles. Now it's 7-13, and now I'm all, what are we doing? And it's 1 out. He just has to get 1 out. So it's dumb to get somebody warm. But by this time, Luis Contreras has thrown like 25, 28 pitches. You could tell he was tired. Okay, where's the weak link here? Brooks Lee? Okay, I give it to you. Okay, Brooks Lee, you can single. Christian Vasquez? Christian Vasquez is the one that I'm circling big. Then I'm like, okay, Christian Vasquez is the weak link. Let's try to get him out. And then what does Christian Vasquez go and proceed to do? Oh, just a 9-pitch at bat where he fouls off after getting to a 2-2 count. He fouls off 4 balls, and on the 9th fucking pitch on a 80-mile-an-hour curveball, hits a ground rule double. Really, Christian Vasquez? And the petty side of me said that was just payback for Dusty Baker not playing him. That's just the petty side of me. That's really not. But in my head, the soap opera drama that is in my head, that's what he was doing. And then after that, Willie Castro walks. All of this, guys, we just need 1 out. Can we just not get the 1 fucking out? No. And there was a pitch in the Willie Castro at bat. The second pitch thrown was almost in the other batter's box that the ump called a strike. And I was like, oh, okay. The umpire's fucking tired. Like, he just wants to get the fuck home, right? Wrong. Because the last pitch of the at bat was closer to the fucking strike zone than the second pitch of the at bat that he could, if you're going to call anything a strike, you probably could have called this one a strike. And while Twin fans would have been mad, they would have got it. Nope, calls it a fucking ball. What are you doing? Why? So now Willie Castro is on, and there's 2 on and 2 out at second and third. And of course, Josh Hader has to come in. So the fact that Josh Hader had to come in when it was 13-5 originally just is not so good. But now it's 13-8. And you know who would be up right now? Because of course they're going to be up is fucking Carlos Correa. And in the majestic, poetic world of baseball, Carlos Correa hits a fucking grand slam on a pitch that was up and in, and he had no business hitting a fucking home run on this goddamn pitch because it was in the actual batter's box. And now it's 13-12. 1 out, people. That's all we fucking needed was 1 out. And now the score is 13-12, and Manny Margot strikes out. And it's dumb. The game was drunk. I should have been drunk, but we took the game. That was game 1, guys. That was game 1. Like I said, tomorrow we need to win because Sunday game, we cannot guarantee that Spencer Getty will be the Spencer Getty that we need. So we got to take tomorrow's game. We got to take Diesel's game. I think we have a fair chance.
So in Luis Contreras' defense, he threw 34 pitches on July 2nd. So while I get it, and I'm gonna harp on it because I felt like Joe Espada did this kid dirty. And I can call him a kid, right? He's 28. Because what he did with Seth really painted him in a corner. Do I want to get Presley up? No. I've already burnt King. Do I want to get who's the guy that I'm going to get up at this point that can come and rescue him, if not a leverage guy? And if I'm going to go to a leverage guy, I might as well go to a closer and a save opportunity to, pad Hater stats or whatever. Once the Twins decided, hey, we're going to battle, and credit to the Twins. While you're over here going, it's 1 out, really? They put together at bats. You talked about Christian Vasquez. He could have mailed it in. There were a lot of those guys that could have been like, all right, it's a 7-run game or whatever. We got no business trying to come back. But they battled. It was just like one hitter after the next. So that's why it was so important for me to get the most out of these other guys so that you weren't asking for the potential of Luis Contreras having to throw 40 some odd pitches. And in the end, that's what ended up happening because you knew you were going to try to get 2 innings out of him once they extended the lead. It's just, I feel bad for Luis Contreras. I feel bad for him.
Yep. I definitely understand. It sucks. It sucks that Hader had to get up. Hader had to get warm. You kind of expected it when you heard bullpen game. But then when the score got so out of hand, you were like, oh, okay, so the leverage guys don't need to get up. But then the leverage guys needed to get up. Again, guys, fingers crossed that we can get tomorrow's game. And then we don't have to worry about Sunday's game. Like, sweeps would be amazing, but sweeps are hard. And that relieves some pressure on Spencer Arrighetti. Just an update, if you guys aren't aware, the hurricane barrel is literally barreling towards us now. I don't actually live in Houston. I live Houston-ish. I live closer to the coast than I do to Houston. So if you know anything about this hurricane that is coming our way, next week shall be interesting. So if you guys do not get any episodes, you know why. I may be without power. I may not even be able to watch games. We shall see. Fingers crossed I do, because I will be very sad if I don't. But there are bigger things in life than baseball. Is there really? Maybe. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the storm does not reorganize itself and we just get a lot of rain and some wind and doesn't actually become a Category 1 hurricane hitting the coast. Fingers crossed, it doesn't. Regardless, Tom, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Before I get there, I
No,
just want to say,
I'm just kidding.
yes, I'm going to do it. I just want to say I've been extremely proud of this ball club. We were contemplating 3 weeks ago how they could get to this point, and it sounded like a lot, and they have surpassed all of that. Regardless of what happens in this Twin series, obviously we want them to win the series. A sweep would be absolutely fucking fantastic. But regardless, this was a really good road trip. They go home after said road trip to a day off on Monday, well deserved. And then they get a 6-game homestand before the All-Star break to play 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the Rangers. You got to feel good about your chances in both of those series. And then it's like for everyone not named Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez, it's a 4-day vacation before they get to really get to the nitty gritty, which is Seattle in Seattle. So super excited for where these Astros are. And then you're talking trade deadline and who knows who's going to sell. I really am curious to see what the Blue Jays do. Kevin Gausman had a really good game today. He could be a name. I don't know. They're 10 games under. So you got certain teams that are going to be selling that probably weren't selling a week ago. And that opens up the opportunity to make this team better. Now, go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, hopefully we will be able to play those games with the Marlins. The hurricane is apparently supposed to hit sometime early Monday morning, depending on the track that you're looking at. Fingers crossed that Houston is not impacted as much. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully nothing is impacted greatly. And we just get, like I said, a lot of rain and wind
And
not
wins.
much damage. And winds, yes, without the D. And then, and then
You get the D later.
right, yeah. And then, like I said, we meet the Marlins after the All-Star game. So it will be
Mariners.
what did I say?
Marlins.
Damn it, the wrong M team. We meet the Marlins next week. We meet the Mariners the week after the All-Star game. So that will be basically the measuring stick, because at that point, will we be up? Will we have overtaken the AL West and be victorious and where we should be in our rightful place as the first place AL West team? Or will that series decide the rankings? I don't know. We shall see. It'll be very interesting to, as it stands right now, we are a game and a half back.
2
games back, excuse me. Oh, because they won tonight. Whatever.
Still closer to the division lead than the Yankees, and the Yankees are 18 games over 500. That's crazy. Baltimore's a real problem. Baltimore's a real
pitching
problem.
has just been crazy. Anyways, with that said, Tom, where can they find you on the interwebs?
At Third Coast Tom on Twitter. That's where you will find me 90% of the time. There's 2% where I'm on Instagram at TCTom1. I do stuff over there, just not as much content creation. And then the PSF app. If you missed out, we covered the only loss in the Blue Jays series, but damn it if it wasn't interesting. They tried to give us hope, and we had a good time. The PSF app is doing great things with peer-to-peer wagering. That is a lot of fun. I've been playing with some of the different media casters, and it's really interesting to see those guys really go and try to create matchups against an Astro player versus, say, a Cardinals player or a Mets player. And it definitely makes the games more exciting, especially when they're playing each other. But if you're not into that, the best time you can possibly have watching an Astros game, if you are not at Minute Maid Park, is with me and Suzy when we're covering games. Follow us on Twitter. Look for us there. Suzy's really good about posting. I'm really good about retweeting her posts. And we will call the next one soon. And hopefully we'll catch you there.
Yep. So the next game we actually are supposed to do on Tuesday. Stand by to see if that actually happens. Again, like I said, we are going through the storm. So we shall know what happens Monday, hopefully, fingers crossed. Again, don't know if we're going to have power. Don't know if there even will be games. Who knows? So just stand by, look at all of the social medias if you have power, and stay tuned. So if you've not already subscribed, liked the YouTubes, please do that. Hit the big red subscribe button. If you listen on the audio side and you have not given us a 5-star rating or left any nice words in a review, please do so because it would warm my cold dead heart and give me all of the feelings. Maybe we'll see. And with that, we were going to end the show and say, yay, baseball. Hit end.